What is good? What is good, everybody? It's your boy Cam, and today is game day for the Mavericks as they take on the New Orleans Pelicans tonight on the road. And before I get all that talking about the upcoming games, I want to get the feedback from the Mavericks versus the Washington Wizards game from Monday. The Mavericks actually picked up the win over the Washington Wizards, and the Wizards are the worst team in the NBA right now, but and before that, they played the Wizards. The Mavericks end up losing to the Boston Celtics at home. But the craziest thing is the Mavericks end up picking up a win on the road at the Oklahoma City Thunder, which was real big. Without seven guys from the team with injuries and stuff going on, but except for Najee, he's been dealing with the illness. But I found or heard he's been dealing better. But he is questionable to play tonight. But we'll see. Hopefully we get him back because we have a very tough road game coming up. So Klay Thompson finished with 23 points. Omax Prosper finished with 20. PJ Washington finished with 19. Daniel Gafford finished with 18. Kyrie Irving finished with 13. Jaden Hardy finished with 12. And Jaden Hardy scored 12 points within 13 minutes. He's on minutes restriction after that ankle sprain injury he had a couple games ago. But here's and Klay Thompson actually made history for the Mavericks. Klay Thompson scored 21 points in the first quarter and hit 7 threes within the quarter. That was real big time from Klay Thompson. Honestly, we need at least 16, 17 points a game from Klay when we play against these good teams these next 5 games on the road. Like, and the Mavericks actually scored 42 points in the first quarter and only gave up about 16 or 17, I believe, against the Washington Wizards. And Daniel Gafford was going at it as former teammates when he was in Washington, D.C. before he got traded to the Mavericks. He was actually traded for Richaun Holmes last season, the year the Mavericks went to the finals, and Richaun Holmes was barely getting any playing time, but he's getting more minutes with the Washington Wizards, especially during the rebuild mode right now. But they've always been rebuilding. They haven't been a good team for a very long time. But their number 2 draft pick, Alex Sarr, who is from France, suffered an ankle injury, so he ended up missing the rest of the game. And Jordan Poole actually played pretty well, but Kyle Kuzma struggled. But honestly, Kyle Kuzma does not look happy playing in Washington D.C. I think he's ready to go. Like I said earlier, before Kyle Kuzma had an option to come to the Mavericks, but Kuzma's like, no, I don't want to go to Dallas. They're not title contenders. I'm like, he's gonna regret saying that next season, and I wouldn't be surprised he wants to come to Dallas when the trade deadline is almost over with. But yeah, and Kyle Kuzma wanted to come to Dallas. I'm like, boy, no, thank you. And the Mavericks are not interested in Kyle Kuzma. To be honest, I felt like if we had Kyle Kuzma, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, we would have had a stronger chance to win a championship this past season. I think Kyle Kuzma was the missing piece to our team, but I just don't think we're going to end up getting him. But it is what it is. Obviously, Kyle Kuzma learned he should have gone to Dallas, but no big deal. But I still think the Mavericks just need to make just one trade. I believe just one they need to make. But there's another problem why the Mavericks haven't been playing so well is that injuries has been going on just constantly. Jaden Hardy gets hurt. Najee Marshall sick. Derek Lively gets hurt. But Daniel Gafford got hurt that one game, but ended up returning to the game when they played the Oklahoma City Thunder. Dwight Powell gets hurt. Maxi Kleber actually broke his foot against the Boston Celtics, so he's going to be out for a while. But I still think when the Mavericks do need to make a trade for him, I just He's just not the same anymore. But Omax Prosper's actually been stepping up. He's gotten something. He's getting a little better after everybody's been going down with all these injuries. But Luka Doncic is close to returning. They said he might not be back for about another week or two, but they did say he is supposed to be back before the All-Star break. Hopefully he's in shape by the time he comes back and we can get back to that winning level and make another run to the championship. But I just don't know how. I can't predict anything right now because everybody's down with injuries, and we don't got Derek Lively for 2 to 3 months, so we might not get him back until April, or probably if we have to play in the play-in tournament or the first round of the playoffs. We probably won't get Derek Lively till then, so who knows when that Lively's going to come back. But I believe he'll be ready once he's back, and we're going to bounce back once Derek Lively and everybody. As long as that's the thing, the Mavericks need to stay healthy, or for us to go make another run to the finals. And we went like 14-3, I believe, in November when we had everybody healthy and everything. I think we should be in third, like in the top 5 right now if everybody was healthy right now. I think we probably would have finished third if we had our whole team. It's just injuries has just been a problem. We kind of had that problem last year, like in January, December, everybody was getting injured. Once everybody was back, we started winning, and we made that trade for Gafford and PJ. That's when we really were a stronger team. Because everybody expected the Mavericks to be a stronger team after we made that trade for Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington going into that next year, this season. And he ended up getting Klay Thompson. But the hardest part was getting rid of Derrick Jones Jr. just so we can make enough cap space just for Klay. But I think the Mavericks just need one more defensive player. And I think we're good. We have a third leading scorer, which is Klay, and I think we're all right with a third leading scorer. And I think Klay, I mean, he's on and off. He's not the same anymore after he tore his Achilles. I don't think Klay is a horrible player playing with Dallas. And he has showed up against good teams. I mean, one night he'll play good, one night he'll be bad. But I believe if we do make the playoffs, I think Klay will be much better once the playoffs get here. Because like you expect to be Kyrie and Luka to be double teamed, and then you leave Klay open. And if he keeps making shots, that's definitely gonna be a problem for the Mavericks. And then all right, so another thing I do want to talk about is these trade rumors that's been going on right now. So Jimmy Butler has actually been suspended indefinitely after he was told. Jimmy Butler walked out of practice because he was told he wasn't going to start. He was going to have to come off the bench, and Butler just walked out of practice. And it's just time. Miami just needs to just hurry up and just make this trade and just get this drama over with, because I'm tired of hearing about the Jimmy Butler drama. As long as he doesn't come to Dallas, I think we'll be okay. Because they say if we have to give Jimmy Butler, we have to give up a lot of guys. Like we have to give up PJ, Gafford, and Klay. That's a bad risk. Like we can't have another ball handler on the team. And I think Jimmy Butler's just going to cause locker room problems if he was to come to Dallas. He's going to cause it. I don't think Luka and Jimmy Butler are going to get along in Dallas. I just don't see him coming down here is going to work out. They did say there has been rumors that Golden State is wanting to get him, but I think Jimmy Butler is better off playing with the Phoenix Suns. But I still don't see him being a championship team if he was to go to the Phoenix Suns. And I think that will probably be his final team he plays for. And after that, I think he'll be out the door. I give him about 3 years playing if he was to go to the Phoenix Suns. 3 more seasons, I think Jimmy Butler will probably retire. Because nobody else is going to want another hothead and guy who causes drama in the locker room so much. Another trade rumor that's been going on is DeAaron Fox is trying to leave Sacramento, and they're saying DeAaron Fox could possibly go to San Antonio Spurs. And I think that's a good fit for Fox. Because and you have another good player around Victor Wembanyama. And more than likely, Chris Paul's going to come off the bench. And I think Chris Paul will be okay with that. And I honestly think the Spurs could be a first round playoff team. If they get DeAaron Fox, they're definitely going to be a playoff team. They definitely could be a tough team. And they'll be tougher even next year if Fox was to stay in San Antonio another year. And I honestly think De'Aaron Fox's best fit is San Antonio or maybe Houston. I don't know, but I think Fox should go to San Antonio. That's just my opinion. And that would just be. I think him and Wemby are going to play together so well because Wemby definitely needs some more help. But he already got Harrison Barnes or Chris Paul, the veterans around him, and they got the rookie Steven Castle. Oh yeah, that's definitely good fit around Wemby. And I respect the San Antonio Spurs team so much ever since when they had Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan. I've always loved watching the Spurs play. They just play fundamental basketball, and Greg Popovich is just one of the best coaches of all time. And that's somebody who don't play around. But all right, so now I talked about all the trade rumors. I do want to talk about this upcoming schedule from the Mavericks. So tonight, I already said they're at the New Orleans Pelicans. This Friday night, the Mavericks travel to play the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are actually a lot better now from last year. They have their first-year head coach, J.B. Bickerstaff, who came over from Cleveland Cavaliers. He was fired after they lost the second round of the playoffs to Boston, but Cleveland didn't have their whole team going into the playoffs against Boston. But I expect Cleveland and Boston be a conference finals matchup. I think Cleveland's the only team who has a chance to beat Boston. And the thing is, of course, Detroit has Tim Hardaway Jr., who we traded for, and then they got and they have the number one pick, Cade Cunningham, who's actually from Arlington, Texas. He went to Bowie High School his sophomore year, and then he transferred to a private school in Florida, which is I got the name of it, but I've watched Cade Cunningham since he was a freshman. He's a freaking beast. I truly love watching Cade play. And of course, they got Tobias Harris and Isaiah Stewart. And the Pistons are just a much better team than they were from last year. Sunday, the Mavericks travel to play the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is hopefully we have Dante Exum back by then. And it was a heartbreaking loss when Max Strus hit that full court shot against us. And Max Strus just went off the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. Nobody couldn't stop him from making those shots. And Cleveland's pretty much the best team in the league right now. And then Tuesday night, the Mavericks travel to play the Philadelphia 76ers, they got some crap going on with Embiid being injured so much. But I feel like we can beat the 76ers. And next Thursday, the Mavericks travel to Boston, which is I'm really not be looking forward to that because that's Kyrie's return to Boston and when he used to play for them, and of course the fans are gonna boo him and they're gonna yell Kyrie sucks. That like bullshit, man. It's like the Boston fans were definitely disrespectful to him when he was playing for Boston. And Kyrie did nothing wrong when he was playing for the Celtics. It's just those weren't the right, and Brooklyn and Boston just weren't the right teams for him. And I'm just worried that Kyrie's going to just struggle playing at Boston. And we need Luka back for that game. But we'll have to see what happens. So we just got to let's take care of the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. We just go from there. But I will see you on the next podcast. And hopefully we get this win against the New Orleans Pelicans tonight.